What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. It is, of course, Jimmy here with your Man United review. But before all that, we are proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. Thank you very much for the support of this video. It's very much appreciated. If you are a growing business and you need that support to continue growing, they are the people to speak to. And I thank them again for their support. Thank you also to our Ramblers. We've had a couple of new Ramblers that have joined, and also the very popular addition of Andy the Blade to the Ramblers chat, which, you know, we'll see how that goes. Thanks also to those that have been watching our Football Manager series. I've only got the one episode up, but I've got several now loaded, ready to be released. So there'll be more of that to come. But before I get to that, I wanted to jump on and talk about yesterday, because mixed feelings, in all honesty. Overall, I'm quite positive about it, and I think you have to be. Because, like a lot of us, I think we started to think there's only one way this season is going. And listen, we still lost yesterday. There's no change to that sort of overarching dark cloud that looks like United are doomed. So it was a strange one yesterday, because we've been calling for change for ages. We wanted 4 at the back. We wanted to see some desire from the team. You know, so we acknowledge that there isn't the squad depth there, but these players are capable of more than they're showing. And I think it's the manager's responsibility to get that out of them. So in order to review yesterday's game, we're going to look at a new feature called Too Good, Too Bad. So, too good, too bad. We're going to look at 2 good things from yesterday and 2 bad things from yesterday. I don't know if this will fit every game that we do going forward. I don't even know if it'll work. Usual Ramble style. We're doing this with no notes, just off the top of my head in terms of what I think would be good. So let's just jump into it and see what we think. But the 2 good things that stood out to me yesterday, the first one was obviously the formation change. So we have got such limited numbers now, particularly in defence. We heard after the game, but there were rumours before the game that Anel was also injured, which is a huge blow for us. Hecky confirming afterwards that it's a hamstring issue. We're not quite sure how serious it is, but he has had a scan. If it's a hamstring, we've seen from Brewster and Reece Norrington-Davis that can be an extended period of time, and I'm talking a long, long period of time. We dread to even think. He said to Nath Emmingham afterwards, don't even ask Nath. Don't even ask. He'd gone up for a header in training, come down in his hamstring, I think, something like that, something so innocuous. Anyway, so that we're left with very limited numbers. We went with a flat back 4 of Jayden Bogle, who I thought was poor yesterday, if I'm honest. Trusty at right centre-back, Jack Robinson at left centre-back, and Luke Thomas at left-back. It was a 4-2-3-1. That's how I saw it. That's how Andy the Blade saw it. It were a little bit difficult sometimes in transition. It looked like they were sort of experimenting with different positional plays and things like that while they didn't have the ball. But for the majority, it looked like a 4-2-3-1. So that was the back 4 that we just talked about. That was Norwood and Sousa together as a sitting 2. And it was McAtee on the right wing, Gus Hamer on the left wing, McBurney dropping deep, not quite into the 10, but him and Archer would rotate sometimes. But the most effective we were was when McBurney was deep, like we've been asking for. So shout out to Eki, obviously watches the Ramble, and Archer up top. And I thought that formation, certainly Man U weren't expecting it. A lot of fans were calling for it. And I think it worked really well, particularly first half. I think the first half was the best half of football we've played all season. We dominated the ball. Obviously, we went in at 1-1. I think they scored against the run of play. So absolutely fantastic with formation change. The second good point, the desire of the players. All we've wanted all season was desire. We know we're not necessarily going to dominate the games against these better teams. We haven't got the quality to match them man for man. But what we always want as a Sheffield United fan is for us to try and match those levels in desire, in terms of, you've got more quality than us, but I want this more than you do. And I think in first half we showed that. It were like having the old Sheffield United back. Welcome back, Sheffield United. And it were an absolute pleasure to watch. It really was. You know, players getting stuck in, fighting for the cause, Vinny Sousa tackling and getting crowd up. That's what we want. That's what we're all about as a club. If we are going to go down, we won't mind it so much if we go down swinging. And we need to do that. We need to give ourselves every chance by giving every drop that we've got. Heads didn't go down when we conceded. We regrouped. Ollie McBurney stepping up to take that penalty. Had to wait for 2 minutes.
I don't have the balls. I've got balls the size of grapefruits.
Balls the size of grapefruits. For a man whose scoring form has been patchy at best, he went, 44 games without scoring. To bury that penalty like he did, that is a leader. That is a leader. And I didn't think I'd be saying that about Ollie McBurnie. I didn't think a lot of us thought that when he first signed for us and some of the stuff he's gone through. But that is somebody who takes the responsibility on his shoulders and leads by example. Fair play to Ollie McBurnie. I thought that was top class. I thought there were several really strong performances yesterday. Austin Trusty. Listen, Jack Robinson had another great game yesterday. Can't say any other. So you can see why he stayed in the team. But how we've not fit Austin Trusty into this team, he was my man at match yesterday, Trusty. How we've not fit him into this team what a superb performance from him yesterday. Thought Bogle were poor, but we'll come on to that. Thought Vinny Souza did well. Not as well as a lot of people are saying. I think there's still rough around the edges. I think he could maybe have closed down a little bit quicker for the second goal. But positive all the same. The most lively he's looked. James McAtee got on the ball more, was running at defenders, doing exactly what we know he can do. Absolutely brilliant from McAtee. Gus Hamer, I thought, was superb. Cameron Archer, I thought, played really, really well. Really well. Looked a threat all afternoon. He faded in the second half after McBurnie had gone off. McBurnie, again, like I've said, he were a leader, stuck his chest out, won the majority of things in the air, flick-ons and things like that. Really, really good. He was so much more effective coming deeper. And I think that's the way forward. I think that's something for us to really work on. Now, on to the too bad. First thing I want to say is the subs. And listen, we are limited to what we can do. You know, we can't bring on game changers. Man United bringing on players like Martial, Eriksen, Mason Mount. I didn't get it. Listen, I know that McBurnie won. He was injured, which could be one of the bad points in itself in terms of the injury crisis, because I don't think it's a coincidence. There's something not right. I understand we're bringing in somebody independent to have a look at what's going off here. Are we training them too much? Are we training them too little? This is not normal to get the amount of injuries we've got. So we go 2-1 down. We need to win. We need to score to at least salvage something from the game. And he brings off, firstly, McAtee for Ben Osborne. McAtee, one of our most creative outlets, for Ben Osborne, who's recovering from injury and hasn't kicked a ball for 2 months. Instead of somebody like Slimani, for example. What's wrong with Slimani? Why isn't he getting involved? Why isn't he considered? He's looked very good whenever he's played. Eki clearly don't fancy him for some reason. And then you bring off Gus Hamer, who's one of our best box-to-box men going. Listen, I know he's a lung-busting player, and 1 minute he was trying to finish off a chance at one end, and next minute he's putting it out for a corner for Man U because he's that committed to the cause. And yes, he'll be absolutely shattered, but we're still chasing the game at that point. And if you can't play 90 minutes a week, because that's all we're playing a game a week at the minute, then we're struggling, aren't we? Keep our best players on the pitch. Why not change a Norwood for a striker? Why not bring Norwood off and bring Traore on? Well, just go for it. It's 2-1. I'd rather lose 3-1 and have much more of a chance of getting to 2-2 with 84 minutes on the clock. Give me 4-1 at a minute, because goal difference has gone, hasn't it? But let's try and get a 2-2. Let's not wave the white flag by bringing Ben Osborne on for McAtee. Talk about a drop-off in quality. And then Traore, who's clearly a development player and been bought for that purpose, to come on for Gus Hamer. I know we haven't got the depth. There's ways of bringing these subs into the game, and strategically, I just don't think it was the right call. I think it weakened us. I think we had less of a chance of getting back into the game at that stage because of the substitutions, and that's just my opinion. The second of the too bad is no plan B. Again, McBurnie went off, who had been having a great game. I think if McBurnie plays the 90 minutes, he probably pips Trusty to man of the match, because everything we're going through, McBurnie looked great. We need to get that contract signed ASAP. I understand we're in negotiations with him. Let's get pen to paper sorted. He's looking unreal at the minute, McBurnie. He's one of our most reliable players. And as soon as he went off, we brought on Ryan Brewster, rasping shot to reintroduce himself, if you like. Stung the palms of Onana. Looked good. We were all like, whoa, this is what he can do. And we know that about Ryan, but he's a different player to McBurnie. So why then are we continuing to pump the ball high to Archer and Brewster? Listen, Brewster won a couple of headers in the air, which looked decent, but he's not a target man. He's not somebody who who's there for flick-ons. He should be chasing balls in channels, and Archer needs a through ball on the deck. Why are we whipping high crosses in from Luke Thomas in the last minute of the game, level with crossbar, when we're crossing to Cameron Archer and Benny Traore? Benny Traore could be on Cameron Archer's shoulders and still not meet that header. It's a ridiculous non-strategy, and it's so frustrating to watch. And I'll be honest, as much as the two positives were great, and I think it probably extends Hecky's at least for another couple of games. I think he now definitely sees the Wolves game, but I don't think the nous is there in game, and it's disappointing. It's good to know that the players can be up for it, and it's what I think is the players clearly have that fight and desire still in them. Before that fire dies out completely, we need to do something about it, whether that's a change or whatever it might be. It reminded me yesterday of when Hecky made the pivotal change in the Championship, when he was persisting with Norwood and Fleck. It just wasn't working. And finally, he caved and brought in Doyle and McAtee out of desperation, really, to do something. And it worked. It clicked. And maybe this formation will be the same for us, but we shall see. We shall see. So, again, I thought yesterday there were some great performances. Jack Robinson, Austin Trusty, McBurney were the standouts for me. I thought Vinny Souza had a very good game. I thought Cameron Archer played very well. Looked a threat, particularly while McBurney were on the pitch. Then he were chasing shadows a little bit. Brewster looked lively initially and then faded quickly. I thought Norwood did okay. I've seen a lot of people raving about Norwood, but I just thought he did okay yesterday. I thought Bogle was poor. I thought Luke Thomas was average. And I thought Wes was poor, if I'm honest. I think he could have done better with both goals. I haven't seen the first goal back, but I've seen the second one. The second one, he gets two hands to it and he couldn't push it away. Listen, it's a worldie of a strike. But when you get two hands to it as a goalkeeper, you've got to be disappointed not to see, to see it still go in. Not strong enough. And people will come at me for this because I've said for all season that I don't think Wesley's good enough. But it's my opinion, and it's nothing personal, and I stand by it. So let me know what you think. I'm really keen to hear it, because it was one of them games yesterday where you could come out feeling brilliant about it, or you could come out and think, oh, it's another loss. This is not the man for us, blah, blah, blah. And I understand both opinions, and I'm in the middle a little bit. So let me know how you reflect on yesterday. What did you think to the formation change? What did you think to his subs? What did you think to no plan B? And how good was it to see the players giving everything they've got for the shirt again? Please do like the video if you've enjoyed the content. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do. It'd be very much appreciated. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades. Ramble on.